In this video, I'm going to share with you some of my tips how to find your signature scent for women and men. These tips will help you with how to make the fragrance suit your personality and your style, how to find those fragrances and what words or what notes to look for in fragrances to suit your personal style. 3, 2, 1, let's do this. My name is Monica Cho, and on this channel we talk about fragrances. So if you're interested in fragrances, press that subscribe button and the notification bell, and let's get on with today's video. So a lot of people say you must find your signature scent, like not wearing fragrance is not what you should be doing. Like as you're growing up and you're becoming a bit older, you should have a signature scent. And I do believe it's true. I feel naked if I don't have my fragrance on me. Fragrance can actually help you display an image of what personality or like who you want to be and represent to the world. This scent does not necessarily have to represent who you are at the moment, but it could help you display something to the world that you want to become. So first off, who are you? Ask yourself the question. This is the first step. Are you a career woman or a guy that don't really care about what others think of them, and you just go and you're extremely career driven, you're an alpha woman or a man? Are you that person? And I'm not saying you have to be this or that, but what kind of person are you more of? Because we have to kind of categorize those sort of people and scents too, because you can be both career driven and you can be friendly. I'm not saying you can't be both, but we have to, for the sake of this video, do make those separations. So are you that person, or are you an extremely girly person, or a person that is very friendly, that is described as friendly, approachable, a bit shy, quiet, and people describe you as that when they talk about you? Or are you somebody who is like rebellious? Are you somebody that is quite sexy and sensual and just likes to draw attention to themselves a lot? Are you traveling a lot and maybe you are doing loads of sports? So think about that, because the lifestyle that you're leading also has to be taken into account. You want to be wearing, for example, Dior Homme, which is an extremely formal, heavy fragrance if you're traveling all the time for surfing competitions, because you're probably in more summery places, and that fragrance you would only want to really wear in quite cold weather, and it's very formal. It just wouldn't suit you. So think about that. Think about your style, what you like to maybe wear. Are you a bit quirky looking? Do people consider you as a person who doesn't follow the rules, who is just very different, and nobody can like tell you who you are because you're just like changing all the time and trying new things? Maybe you're that sort of person. So think of the person that you are, and I'm going to give you some examples of each of this category and what kind of notes you might like to project that image, what kind of words to look for in descriptions of fragrances that will indicate what kind of fragrance that is, and what kind of brands and particular fragrances you might actually enjoy and might be good for you, just to start off to find your signature scent. So for an alpha woman or a man who likes to project or think of themselves as very strong, decisive, very, stands their ground, I would look for descriptive words in fragrances. So if you're looking at the back of the fragrance or the brief of the fragrance, look for words such as opulent, balsamic, heavy, strong. Those sort of words will describe a fragrance you might want to consider for your signature scent. And some of the notes you might really like is patchouli, because it's quite heavy, a bit dirty, but in a nice way. Don't be scared of that. Loads of Chanel fragrances have got that note in them. So I'd look into Coco Noir, Chanel Coromandel. This is a unisex fragrance. Coco Noir could also be worn for both women and men, but it's more of a female fragrance. Those sort of fragrances. Some other notes you might consider are heavy vanillas, but oriental vanillas, not pretty vanillas. So look for the word oriental, for example, in the description of the fragrance, not just straight up vanilla for both women and men. For men, notes such as ambroxan, animalic notes for women too, actually. Those sort of notes you want to watch out for, because those do give you that impression in a sense that you're very masculine or feminine, very confident and like strong-willed. So look for those notes in fragrances. A good start of brands and fragrances you might want to look into. If you're a guy, Parfum de Marly Calan is a very, very masculine, confident sort of scent. Ojan also from Parfum de Marly. Black Orchid, definitely both female and male scent, so check out Black Orchid. This is a very confident, projecting sort of scent that is also a bit yummy, but not too yummy, edible, because you don't want to go into that direction too much if you want to display this image of like authority and stuff. Also for women, Chanel Coromandel. That is a great fragrance because it's a bit sweet, but very, very grounded and powerful. Black Orchid, I would highly recommend, but look into those notes that I've told you about. Also Tobacco Vanille, that is a good balance between masculine and feminine, definitely. Next up, let's look at the girly person, or a very friendly, approachable, bit shy person. So I would look into the description of fragrances and I would look for words such as light, fruity, floral. I would look for notes such as neroli, orange blossom, flowers such as like geranium, rose, very flowery sort of notes like white florals, maybe some citrusy notes. The fragrances maybe would be described as green, natural smelling. That sort of vibe is what you're looking for. Some of the fragrance examples I would give you, definitely check out Diptyque. Diptyque is quite a classy house, but it's got those really friendly sort of fragrances that are in line with this character. So I would go for like Philosopos, that is a unisex fragrance. It could be your signature scent, that is a green fig fragrance. Other fragrances could be Mugler cologne, that is a cologne, but it could be also worn by a woman. It's got some neroli, so like a friendly fragrance. Reflection Man by Amouage. It's an expensive smelling, friendly fragrance and kind fragrance. I would check out that one. It's leaning a bit more classy. For a woman, Coco Chanel. It's a classic, it's girly. Maison Francis Kurkdjian, L'eau à la rose. That is a flowery fragrance, maybe La Tulipe from Byredo for both sexes, or Blanche. That sort of vibe could be your signature scent. Fragrances, Byredo, Diptyque would be your go-to houses. Dior, Rose and Rose, the new release, would also be something to check out. Or Joy from Dior, those sort of fragrances. Next up would be the classy person that leads quite a formal life, lots of meetings, quite a sophisticated sort of wardrobe of maybe expensive coats, suits, that sort of vibe. If you're going to loads of those meetings, you will want to be smelled, but you want to smell too juvenile or like hip and trendy. You will just want to smell classy. So look into those houses that have been established for a long house, designer houses like Dior, Chanel and Guerlain. So I'd recommend you quite classy fragrances. For example, Shalimar by Guerlain. Dior Homme line is excellent and very classy. This is like the best classy fragrance you can get. Hermes fragrances like Terre d'Hermes. Vetiver is a note in that fragrance, and vetiver is an extremely classy note for a guy. So do look into vetiver fragrances because you'll smell very, very classy. Dior Sauvage, not the new Sauvage, but the one in like the vintage looking bottle. Those fragrances are very, very classy, fresh, citrusy, a bit soapy, excellent, timeless. That you're going for timeless fragrances that are non-offensive but very, very pleasant. For a woman, you're looking for fragrances that are maybe slightly floral, not too sweet or oriental. You're avoiding those. You're kind of looking for clean, easygoing, formal fragrances. So I would go to houses like Prada, Chanel Coco, Chanel Coco Noir. Those are classics. You know, you can't go wrong with them. Like, they're just very, very lovely and nice. You can look for notes such as gardenia. Gardenia is a very elegant, beautiful flower. Chanel Gardenia, for example, from Les Exclusives line in Chanel, a stunning floral fragrance. It's beautiful. So do look for those. Coromandel from Chanel also, that would be something you could go into if you're more into your vanillic sort of fragrances. And Shalimar is also a vanillic fragrance. Another fragrance I would go and have a look into, even maybe it's Herod from Parfum de Marly. That is quite a formal fragrance, but still a bit playful, a bit more youthful. I believe both women and men could wear it, so I would go for that. And then lastly, the sexy, sensual person that likes to, you know, have fun and smell like that. I would look for notes such as vanilla. Of course, vanilla, tonka bean, quite sweet fragrances for both women and men. Cherry, almond, heliotrope. Yeah, those sort of notes you would look for in fragrances for words such as seductive, heavy, rich, opulent against, but in this category, you would go more into fragrances that are extremely vanillic, because it's quite interesting how there have been studies done that men find vanilla, very sweet, sugary scent, very, very attractive. So if you're a younger girl, maybe go for something like Pink Sugar by Aquilina, very affordable, extremely compliment-getting fragrance. Good Girl by Carolina Herrera. Coconut vibes, maybe slightly chocolatey vibes like Carolina Herrera. Definitely go for fragrances like that. Vanille Fatale from Tom Ford is a very, very beautiful, smooth vanilla. For a guy, I would go for either a sweet fragrance like Versace Eros. It's a playful, young sort of clubbing scent, or a more sophisticated but still sexy scent like Tobacco Vanille or a cherry almond sort of scent. A Guerlain L'Homme Idéal, La Nuit de l'Homme, heavy lavender. Or I would go for very shower fresh fragrances, because that is what is considered sexy by women a lot. So it's either like sweeter fragrances or shower fresh. So I would go for Bulgari Aqua Pour Homme. That is such a affordable fragrance, but such excellent smelling. The new Dior Homme is very, very nice and sexy, compliment getting. Prada L'Homme is a heavier fragrance that is very, very sweet and nice. Yeah, just go for something that has got either like lavender, tonka bean, even Le Male, I would say. That sort of vibe. If you're quite different, if you're quirky, maybe look more into niche houses. Niche houses are not designer fragrances. They're houses that solely make fragrances and that's it. And they do make some crazy different fragrances that are just inspired by loads of different things. So you could go and look into Zoologist. They make fragrance based on like an animal and they try to make it smell like it. So that would be a fun thing to look into. Or some other fragrance houses like Bond 9, or you could go into, I'll list some niche fragrance houses down below just because my brain is fried, but there's loads of niche fragrance houses that are quite different. Even celebrity fragrance like Stash by Sarah Jessica Parker, it's quite different. Although it's a designer fragrance, you could look into that fragrance. One thing also to consider before you make a fragrance your signature scent, do apply it on your skin, because you might love a scent, but when you apply it on your skin, it might just not go with your skin chemistry. So do get yourself a sample, spray it on your skin, and just wear it for a while to see if you really, really love it. Consider whether you need the fragrance to be super long lasting or not so long lasting. You don't mind respraying it, because heavier fragrances like vanilla, oriental fragrances, they will last longer generally than fresh fragrances. So do consider that, and I want to wish you good luck on finding your signature scent. I hope you do find it. Let me know if you already have a signature scent but you're looking for a new one. I post every Monday and Thursday, and occasionally on some additional days. So do press that notification bell to get notified if I post an additional video. Remember, if you love something, just wear it, no matter what the marketing are telling you about the fragrance, whether it's for a man or a girl. Just don't mind it, because scents don't really have a gender really. They are leaning more towards this or that. But if you love something, just wear it. Good luck with looking for your signature scent, and I'll see you all again very, very